like, comment, and subscribe for more content.
What's up, guys? It's DK Wrestler here from a Funko Popcast, and in today's video, it's a brand new edition of Cop Up or Pass Up. But before that happens, make sure you press that subscribe button for more content, like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when the future content gets released. But anyways, guys, let's check it out. So like I said, today's video is a brand new edition of Cop Up or Pass Up, which for those brand new to the channel, Cop Up or Pass Up is a series where I look at a certain set of pops and determine whether each pop from that set is worth copping up the money for or passing up the opportunity to get via detail, personal reaction of mine, and the overall hype of the Funko fanatics. And in today's edition of Cop Up or Pass Up, it is on the recently announced New York Comic Con 2020 exclusives, which there were quite a bit of cool pops that were announced for New York Comic Con this year. And it just so happens that as I'm recording this video, it is Friday, September 18th, which is actually the day that Funko released the shared retailers list. So when I list these pops, I can actually name what retailer each of the pops are going to. Alright, so we'll kick off the announcements with Day 1, and Day 1 had kicked off with the Icons lineup, more specifically the two variants of the Pizza Rat and the Polly Pigeon, which the Pizza Rat is limited to 3,000 pieces and the Polly Pigeon is limited to 1,500 pieces. And these will not be shared to the Funko shop on their website. These will be exclusively sold through the ReedPop website, which ReedPop is the company that runs New York Comic Con. But then we got the more, I guess I would call it more common releases of these pops, which we got the Pizza Rat with the blue hat and then the Polly Pigeon with like the orange mask and the blue outfit. But these pops are going to be shared with the Funko shop in the US and won't be shared to anywhere in Canada, which I should have mentioned. I'm going to be listing off the retailers for both Canada and the US. The Pizza Rat for the limited piece I find is better than the more common version. And then I feel like the more common version of Polly Pigeon is better than the more limited piece. But these are alright. I thought that the Pizza Rat was Chuck E. Cheese at first. I think a lot of people thought that. But I feel like because the fact that these aren't really like licensor pops, they're just characters that are kind of made up, I'm going to give this a pass up, the opportunity to get overall, although the Pizza Rat that's 3,000 piece does look really cool. And then we move on to the Disney Pixar section of pops, which there's only one, and that is the Carl and Ellie pop movie moments. And this is going to be shared to Box Lunch in the US only and not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. I love the detail that's involved here. You got the nice base because they're painting the house in this scene. Well, more specifically, they're painting the fence, but they're redoing the house, and you even got like the little paint mark on Carl's hand, which is really, really nice. And even the expression on both of the characters' faces are really, really nice. I 100% am going to say cop up for this just because the up pops in recent years have been very valuable. Then we move over to the Ad Icons lineup, which we have the Dum Dums Drum Man, which this is going to be shared to the Funko shop in the US only, and it's not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. The detail for an ad icon that I don't personally know about all that much is really cool. I love the face that's on it, but the overall hype, not a lot of people know about the Dum Dums mascot. They were a little confused, but the detail's really nice, and I kind of like this because of the detail. Just because of the fact that this is an ad icon, I might as well say cop up the money to get this pop. And now we go over to the Harry Potter pops, which we have Molly Weasley with the Burrow Pop Town, which that specifically I'm pretty sure is going to be shared to the Funko shop in the US only and not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. And then we got Ron Weasley at the World Cup, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be shared to Books A Million in the US, if I'm not mistaken, and it's going to be shared to Indigo here in Canada. Very unexpected that we got the Burrow Pop Town before we even had the Hogwarts School as a pop town made. Really cool. It's got a lot of cool detail on the house itself. It's cool that we got a new character with Molly. And then Ron, it's kind of expected we're going to get Ron at the World Cup because we got Harry at the World Cup for San Diego Comic-Con. Just based on what I kind of said and all that, I'm going to say pass up the opportunity to get these pops. Then we go over to the 2-pack bundle of the Jedi training Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia from the Rise of Skywalker. These are going to be shared with the Funko shop in the US only and not going to be shared anywhere in Canada. I do like these definitely better than the Sith Jet Trooper we got for San Diego Comic-Con. I felt like that was a little lackluster, but these are pretty cool actually. But now I gotta decide whether these are worth copping up the money for or passing up the opportunity to get. This is a tough decision, guys. I unfortunately am gonna have to say pass up the opportunity to get this. I know I'm very disappointed in even saying that right now. And then we move on to the Mandalorian set of Star Wars Pops, which is only one. It is the child with the pendant, and this is going to be shared to Amazon in the US. It's just, there's so many child / baby Yoda pops now. People are getting sick of it. This is cool because of the pendant. That's really what brings out the detail of this pop, is the pendant that he's holding. But overall, I'm going to have to agree with the overall hype, and the fact is, passing up the opportunity to get this pop. Then we move on to the actual Disney lineup of pops, which we have Jimny Cricket from Pinocchio. And this pop is going to be shared to Amazon in the US only and not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. This pop is really, really cool. It's cool we're getting a new Jimny Cricket that's actually a normal sized Jimny Cricket himself. The umbrella is awesome, and I love how he's in that pose of like he's kind of flying / falling down with the umbrella, which is really, really nice. And there's definitely some hype over this. Because it's Disney, I do have some sort of personal reaction to this, and the detail is awesome on this. This is a definite copping up the money to get this pop. And then the last pop for day one, and it's the last pop for the Disney lineup overall, it is the Stitch as Baker, which this is going to be shared to FYE in the US and Toys R Us here in Canada. This pop is alright. There has been a lot of Stitch pops that have been pumping up in the last year or so. I feel there was a little bit of mixed hype, but I think it was more good hype than bad hype, if anything. For this, I'm going to kind of lean towards my personal reaction to this, and I'm going to say passing up the opportunity to get this pop. And now we move over to day two, which I believe that this may very well be the single greatest day of Comic-Con reveals in Funko's history. So kicking off day two was the Simpsons Pop. So we got, for the normal Simpsons lineup, it is Comic Book Guy, which that's going to be shared to Hot Topic in both Canada and the US. And then we got ourselves here from the Treehouse of Horror lineup. It is Werewolf Bart, or some people call it Wolfman Bart, which this is going to be shared to GameStop in the US and EB Games here in Canada. Both of these pops are wicked. We have never gotten a Comic Book Guy pop. There's actually quite a bit of detail involving this pop that includes the white glove that he's wearing so he doesn't get fingerprints on the comics. And then the Werewolf Bart is also cool because, you know, Halloween is kind of around the corner, and also the newest episode of the installment of Treehouse of Horror is set to release in October, so it's cool that we're releasing it around that time also. So judging by my own reaction, the overall hype, including this is the worst Funko Pop ever. It's a cop-up. It's a cop-up. I don't know how it would be a pass-up. And then for the SpongeBob SquarePants lineup, we have Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, which both of these are actually going to be shared to Entertainment Earth in the US and will unfortunately not be able to be shared anywhere here in Canada. These pops are awesome. You never thought that Mermaid Man was going to be one of those characters that like transitioned so well into Funko Pop form, and they did such a great job with this. And Barnacle Boy, I'm iffy on the Barnacle Boy just because of the eyes, but it doesn't make sense for white eyes because, you know, if you did the normal black eyes, it'd be weird to go with like the black kind of face mask or bandana type dealio that he's got going on there. I think this is a no-brainer on the decision. Copping up the money to get this pop. And then we have what is probably the most hyped pop of the entire convention of New York Comic Con, and that is the Danny Phantom, which this is going to be shared to Target in the US and it won't be shared to anywhere in Canada. I wouldn't say I wasn't the biggest fan of Danny Phantom, but I didn't really watch Danny Phantom all that much as a kid anyways. But I know it was super popular and people have been wanting Danny Phantom pops for so long now. My only little gripe about this pop is that it should have been glow in the dark in my opinion. But other than that, this is a definite copping up the money to get this pop. And then transitioning to the Ad Icons lineup, we have Captain Crook from McDonald'S, which this is going to be shared to the Funko shop and it won't be shared to anywhere in Canada. Now, there's some mixed reactions towards this because there are some hardcore McDonald's fans that are really excited about this, but then there's some, obviously, McDonald's fans, how do I explain this? Like, they don't really know all the characters all that well besides, you know, the main five that you probably would have seen in the first wave that came out. This pop looks pretty cool, honestly, the detail with the outfit. Because of the fact it's ad icons, the fact that it's McDonald's, and although personally I probably won't get it, but my co-host MD definitely wants to get this, has to be a definite cop-up. And then some of the most predictable pops for NYCC, and that is another set of flocked Pokemon. Yay! Nah, I'm just kidding about that, but seriously though. Angry Pikachu or Grumpy Pikachu, which this is going to be shared to Target in the US, and it's not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. And the flocked Growlithe, that's going to be shared to Box Lunch in the US, and it's not going to be shared anywhere in Canada. Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of how they're making flocked variants of a bunch of Pokemons, but at least with these two characters, these do make sense to be flocked. But overall, because of the fact that these ones actually make sense, unlike the Charmander, Bulbasaur, and the Mewtwo we got in the last few months, I'm going to say cop up the opportunity to get both of these pops. Continuing on with the games lineup along with the flocked Pokemon, it is Bash from Fortnite. I think this is going to be shared to Walmart in the US, and it's not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. This pop's alright. I feel like even though there's people who hate Fortnite and there's people who like Fortnite, that I've definitely seen some better Fortnite pops than this. With that reason alone, I think this is the biggest no-brainer of passing up the opportunity to get this pop. Transitioning to the movies lineup, we have a super-sized pop or a 6-inch Fezzik from The Princess Bride. This is going to be shared to Amazon in the US, and it's not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. This actually really shocked me because we had the Princess Bride pops a couple years ago. I would say at least 2018 those were released, and I was wondering why wasn't there a Fezzik pop originally released, but at least it's here now. It's better late than never, so to speak. I think there are some mixed hype, so now I gotta decide whether it's worth copping up the money for or passing up the opportunity. To hell with it. I'm saying cop up because this pop looks awesome in my opinion at least. Then the last pop for day 2, that is the bloody variant of Young Ben from the Umbrella Academy. Now this isn't going to be shared anywhere. Technically it's going to be shared to the Funko shop because it is virtual con, but if the con was actually happening, this was going to be a con only, limited to 2,000 pieces. I love the show. I really enjoyed season 2 that recently came out. I think it was 2 months ago now at least. This is from season 1 I believe, and I think it's definitely the best Ben variant. So I said pass up on the limited piece pizza wrap, but for this, I'm saying cop up because, you know, I got more of a personal reaction towards it also. So now we're going on to day 3 of New York Comic Con, which kicks off with the Marvel lineup as we have the street art Miles Morales, and this is going to be shared to GameStop in the US and EB Games here in Canada. This is an alright pop. I feel like when you look at the glams though, you want to hate it because it looks like it blends too much and you can't really tell that it's Spider-Man, but I feel like it's one of those pops where when you see it in person, you'll be able to see it better. So I'm a bit on the fence about this. I kind of want to know what the other pops are for this graffiti lineup because clearly there's going to be 6 other ones according to the silhouettes. For right now, and this is more towards my personal reaction, even though Marvel has a huge fan base, I'm going to say passing up the opportunity to get this pop. And then for the Venom lineup, we have Venomized Magneto, which this is going to be shared to Barnes & Noble in the US, and it's going to be shared to Toys R Us here in Canada. This pop is pretty cool, honestly. I love the different shades of color. There's 4 different shades of color, and the one thing I really love about this pop is that they incorporated the symbiote to make not only a cape, but they also made it so that it's a stand too, so you don't have to have the clear stand, and I also find this to be one of the best Venomized pops. So just for that, cop up the money to get this pop. Then we move over to the zombies lineup. We have Zombie Daredevil, which this is going to be shared to Box Lunch in the US, and it's not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. I know there's a decent following towards this lineup of pops, but to me, when I heard this pop being rumored, I was expecting it to be what the mystery mini turned out to be. But it ended up being different, and I think it threw a lot of people off, and not a lot of people are fans of the fact that it ended up being like that. I think overall, honestly, because it was such a letdown in my opinion, passing up the opportunity to get this pop. And then we got ourselves here Red Goblin, which this is going to be shared to Hot Topic in both the US and Canada. This pop is so detailed. Not really knowing about the pop, but I heard recently about the backstory. That already gets me hooked because I love Carnage and I collect Carnage pops, so this may be one I have to add to the collection. So just by that, this is a definite copping up the money to get this pop. Transitioning to the movies lineup, we have Snake from Escape from New York. Now, originally, I thought this was going to be shared because it does say limited edition on the sticker, but according to the shared list that I've seen, it's actually going to be show only, so technically it's Funko Shop. This is an alright pop. I know hardcore fans of certain movies are probably going to want to get this pop, but I feel like with the overall like hype of the Funko fanatics. They're kind of iffy on this, like, oh, I don't know about this movie, blah, blah, blah. Like, I haven't seen it. All that, so no one really knew about this movie. So just for that, I am going to say passing up the opportunity to get this pop. Then transitioning to the heroes lineup, we have the breast cancer awareness Joker, which this is going to be shared to the Funko shop in the US, and it's not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. I'm going to say right here, I hate this pop, honestly. The only cool thing is that partial proceeds for this pop are going to be donated to Breast Cancer Research Foundation. I bet that people are going to disagree with me, but I don't like the old molds of the Joker. It's just like, ugh, I hate the swirly eyes. And just for that, I'm saying pass up the opportunity to get this pop. And then we got ourselves the glow-in-the-dark Wonder Woman for the upcoming Wonder Woman 84 movie. This is going to be shared to Barnes & Noble in the US, and it will be shared to Toys R Us here in Canada. This looks awesome. I think this is the best DC reveal of this con. I'm going to say for this, cop up the money to get this pop, honestly. So now we're looking at Nightwing from Batman, and this is going to be shared to Hot Topic in both Canada and the US. This pop is alright. I know there is definitely a bit of hype towards this, but to me personally, it doesn't really grab my attention all that much. That's why I'm going to say passing up the opportunity to get this pop. Transitioning to the television lineup, this is kind of right up my alley. We got ourselves Recyclops version 3, but I'm going to say version 5 because it's definitely version 5 when you watch that TV series. This is going to be shared to Walmart in the US, and it'll be shared to Grosvenor here in Canada. I feel that this pop is not as good as the original Recyclops from Emerald City Comic Con, but it's definitely better than the pop we got for San Diego Comic-Con. The detail's really nice, and I love how he has all the weapons that he's got around him, especially he has the aerosol cans. There is a bit of bad hype because people are clamoring Funko. They're like, oh, we don't want any more Dwights, Jims, and Michaels. So I'm going to say, more personally though, cop up the money to get this pop. And then the last pops for day 3, we got ourselves Dixie and Pixie from Huckleberry Hound, and these both will be limited to 2,500 pieces each, which means it will be Funko Shop exclusives. These are alright pops, but they don't really scream out to me all that well. It's good that they made them limited pieces because I feel like only a certain amount of a fan base is going to get this. For an overall fan base and my personal reaction and everything involved, passing up the opportunity to get these pops. And now we're going to talk about day 4, the last day of Comic-Con reveals, which kicking off with the television lineup, we have Robin Sparkles from How I Met Your Mother, and this is going to be shared to Amazon in the US, and it's not going to be shared to anywhere in Canada. I freaking love this pop. People are hyping over this because they were let down by the original kind of 2 pops for How I Met Your Mother. Cop up, and after copping it up, let's go to the mall. Transitioning to the movies lineup, we have ourselves a glow-in-the-dark Beetlejuice with the recently deceased Handbook, I think it's called. And this is going to be shared to GameStop in the US and EB Games here in Canada. This is a cool variant, especially because it's glow-in-the-dark, and like the skin, I'm pretty sure, is what glows in the dark and not the hair. There is a decent amount of hype, but I don't really have much of a personal reaction, but the detail is really nice. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to say passing up the opportunity to get this pop. Then we move to the Retro Toys lineup, which we have Beachhead from G.I. Joe. Now, this is going to be shared to Target in the US and Toys R Us here in Canada. There's nothing really going on with this pop, honestly. I'm skipping it. You know what? Passing off the opportunity to get this pop, honestly. Ugh. Then we go back to the television lineup with the Masters of the Universe pops, which we have Ninjor, I think the name is. Beast Man, which is I think a 10-inch or a 6-inch, I don't know. And then we have King Hiss. Beast Man is going to be shared to GameStop in the US and EB Games here in Canada. Other 2 pops are going to be shared to Toy Tokyo in the US, and it's going to be shared to Toys R Us here in Canada. These pops are alright, but I feel like, once again, you're at that point of a certain lineup. Some of the pops are starting to get a little bit lackluster. Passing up the opportunity to get these pops. All 3 of them. Then going to the, anime portion of animation, we have Mr. Compress, if that's how it's pronounced, from My Hero Academia, and this is going to be shared to Hot Topic in the US and Canada. I like this pop for the fact that this is giving me vibes of Rorschach from Watchmen. It kind of gives me, that look with this, and I know people are hyped because it's more villain pops, and due to the fact that My Hero Academia pops get pretty expensive after a Comic-Con, I'm going to say for this fact, copping up the money to get this pop. Then moving on to Naruto. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but I'm going to try my best. It's Kaguya. I don't know if that's right, but this is going to be shared to GameStop in the US and EB Games here in Canada. The detail is nuts on this. This actually is giving me some very creepy vibes. Overall, the detail's nice. There is hype because people have been clamoring Funko for some Naruto pops, more specifically, con-exclusive Naruto pops. So just for that, copping up the money to get this pop. And then we got ourselves here Junji Ito Sushi. Probably botched that name completely. This is going to be shared to both Hot Topic in Canada and the US. This is alright. It's kind of a weird character not knowing who it is. This, once again, is giving me some creepy vibes. Quite a bit of detail going on with this. There's a little bit of hype, but there's some people that don't really know what this show is, honestly. In my personal reaction, it's kind of up there with the detail, but not really. But for right now, I'm going to say passing up the opportunity to get this pop. And then we have the last Funko Pop that was announced for the entire con, and that is the Flocked Ein that is a part of a Pop and Tea bundle. Now, this is going to be shared to GameStop in the US and EB Games here in Canada. I mean, this dog looks cool. People are hyping for this because of the fact that it's a flocked dog, and even though they've never seen Cowboy Bebop, I didn't really have much of a personal reaction because at this point, I was hoping we were going to get a freaking Winged Dragon or Raw Pop from Yu-Gi-Oh! For New York Comic Con, and that didn't happen. Pass up. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you're enjoying the content being provided to you guys on this channel. Comment in the comment section below on what pops you are planning to cop up the money for or pass up the opportunity to get when it comes to New York Comic Con. And like I said earlier, press that subscribe button for more content like this video in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and see you guys next time. Peace out!